Hey guys, Les and Low with Les Low Events, and we're back with the latest episode of Cocktail Hour with Les Low, this time with a special guest.
Yes, we're so excited to have one of our personal faves, the Justin Madison, here with us. What an honor. Floral is one of the hottest topics, and if you know, you know, floral royalty. And so before we get into all of the nitty gritty around floral, because we know you guys have been hollering and you want to know all the things floral, it wouldn't be cocktail hour without some cocktails. So
let's take it to the bar. We brought back one of your favorites and our favorites, Chi Chi, one of our friends, fam, bestie bartenders, and she's cooking up at the bar for us. So let's head over to the bar.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, it's China, and I'm back again with Cocktail Hour with Leslo. And today we'll be making a blackberry gimlet. I'm gonna be using Hendrix Floradora. I got this blackberry and sage simple syrup. I got my fresh cucumber and fresh lime, and I'll also be using these edible flowers. Stick around. More ice. I went ahead and cut my limes and my cucumber, got my ice in my tin. So now I'm going to start building my drink in the tin. And I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze the lime juice in here, add this little citrus flavor. And one lime is basically I would say an ounce of lime juice out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure out my blackberry and sage simple syrup. So I'm gonna probably do about a ½ ounce, and then I'll work my way. If it's not sweet enough, or if I need to change something, I can always add more. So now for the gin, we're gonna do 2 ounces, maybe even 3. No, I'm kidding. So I'm gonna do 2½ ounces, I feel like that'll give it some good flavor. And I'm gonna just throw a cucumber in just to add that little essence. All right, go ahead and grab my glass. And let's see what we got here. And I'm gonna use a nice edible flower to garnish. Let's see, maybe this one, and a cucumber. And boom, there you have it, 2 blackberry gimlets.
Okay guys, we are at the bar. We're back with Chi, who was actually our very first bartender at Cocktail.
Fan favorite.
Yes, what are we drinking?
So I prepared for you guys a blackberry gimlet.
Okay, let's get into it.
Period. I'm really excited. So we talked about doing something floral inspired.
Of course we did.
Because of the theme of the episode. So apparently these are edible.
Yes, they are.
I kind of want to
know if I can eat
but
one.
I'm scared. Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Tink, tink.
Cheers. I'm scared.
I haven't tried. What did you say was in this Hendrix?
Yes, Floradora. It has notes of coriander, lavender, lilac.
It smells florally.
Okay.
Is that just the flowers?
I usually don't like cucumber, but
It's a little arrangement in the cup.
okay.
Yes,
Oh, bring it home.
I'm gonna eat one of the. This does her upper home.
How is it?
What do you
It
get
tastes like
from
a
it?
flower.
What notes are you getting?
Very earthy, botanical, if you will.
Okay.
I love that for you.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
I don't know if I would recommend eating them. I don't recommend eating the edible florals, but
It's
It's
very
good.
refreshing.
Very
Very refreshing.
I like it.
The cucumber
Very
definitely
good.
has a.
held up. Thank you.
As
Of
always,
course,
thank
anytime.
you for joining us again.
Of course,
for
anytime.
Cocktail Hour with Leslo.
Cheers.
Are these
salute.
plastic?
No, they're not. They're glass.
Okay. To the couch we go.
Period. Back to the couch.
Okay, so we're back to kick off the conversation. Let's do a cute little cheers. Clink, 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 clink.
The floral is cute. It's only right we had floral in the drinks because it's a floral episode. So call us cliche, but
It makes sense.
You
Nice
know,
little touch.
The
Nice
pen
little
is
touch.
funny.
fun is funny.
Yes. Anyway, to kick us off on the conversation, I think let's tell the people, give your elevator speech, tell the people who you are.
Well, my name's Justin with the J Madison. I am a floral and event designer. I have been working in this industry for about 7 years now, and it's my passion. That's what I love to do. I love making people happy, sharing my gift that God gave me, and I just love sharing it with people.
Hey man, we adore Justin personally and professionally. We have had the honor of doing a number of events with you. And so I think it goes without saying, we're gonna drop all the credentials and Instagrams and things, like the quality of your work speaks for itself. I think we can like tell that you're passionate about it. And so I would love to just hear more about how you even got started.
I was gonna ask
in
that.
floral. Like what, were you just like one day
Yeah.
like, you know what I should do?
How did you get here? Tell us your journey.
Honestly, I worked in an office setting. I worked at a desk for years after college, and in my office, we had to create, arrangements. Not we, me, had to create different, settings as our corporate people came down from, different locations. And
That was like in your job description, they were like, oh, hey, you, just like.
well, I worked in human resources.
Okay.
So making the office look nice and making sure
Okay.
making people felt comfortable was important. So versus going and getting like regular party decorations or, the plastic, whatever, I took the budget and I would buy flowers. And, my boss would be like, oh, this is great. Can you make me one? My wife is coming on the trip with me next time. And that's how it started. And then from there, I would do like little parties and baby showers for my family. And it just grew from there. And I never took a class. I never did any formal training. It was something I was just naturally good at. And I practiced.
Come on,
And I
naturally good
practiced,
at.
and here we are, almost, 10 years later from that point, and I'm still doing it, and I've grown so much, and I've been allowed to, be in spaces that, being at a desk would never allow me to be in, and I'm happy to be where I'm at.
Spaces like Nike,
Yes. So,
Vogue,
yes.
Vanity Fair.
Yes.
Come on.
Bing, bing.
I know.
Should, like, pop up. That's a big deal.
Thank
I love
you.
what you said about like just kind of having a natural talent for something, but putting in the work on top of that. I think Les and I can relate to that story of just like, I think that there are like, we both are skilled in different ways when it comes to like event styling and design and like logistics. And so like naturally, I think you can have an ability, but it is important to like nurture and like put time in. And I think that even like your background in HR makes sense, because I think your like customer service or planner service or vendor service is really like
Let's
Yeah.
dig into that a
top
little
tier.
bit.
Like
That's my goal, us as, of course, Black people in general, we don't get that service a lot in the industry. So having that white glove service to my vendors and my clients is something that's top tier, and I think that helps me stand out because it's not something you get from anybody else or
I
get
agree.
anywhere unless you're
Yeah.
paying top dollar with other companies. And me being a small business, I still try to see myself as a multi-billion-dollar company when I know that's not where I am right now, but I know I will be there if I keep on,
Put it out there.
Speaking into
Keep on.
existence,
Keep
I
on
do
going the
want
way
to
I'm
just
going.
tap on the white glove. I think we're in the hospitality industry, and one of the things that we do deal with is, having vendor partners, working with venues, just working with vendors in general that don't necessarily lean into that white glove-ness. And I think it's important to remember as we're in this industry, we get questions all the time, like, what do you do? How can I grow? And I think that's a really good example of what you can do to set yourself apart. It definitely sets you apart.
Yeah, because for me, I see a lot of companies have like luxury and things in their name, but you're not giving luxury, and then you expect luxury, invoices to be sent and paid, but you have to give that service all the way around. It's an experience, like you said, giving that vendor experience, and most importantly, the client experience. Making sure they have that experience from the time they meet you to the time that event is over, that, oh my God, that was amazing. I stressed about nothing. He gave me everything I needed, and that's what I strive to go for.
Well, and even that the people who you have in the room that you associate with your company are delivering on that too. Like, I think in working events with you, you don't just like model that behavior. I think it's great to have you and you're there and you're hands-on and you're doing stuff, which Les and I preach all day about this. Like, we are hands-on planners and we're gonna be there and present and working, but like your whole team that you like bring in to support events, I think also has that same philosophy and like methodology, which I think is really.
And it's important. I try to stress, like, if flowers are done, we're done setting up. If you as a planner or another vendor needs help unloading or loading in, if it's going to make the client's experience better and make the event go quicker and we're staying on time, go move that chair, go move that table, put the linen on the table. Do whatever you can to get this process done, because at the end of the day, we're a team at this point.
And it's a reflection of all of us, right? Like, the flowers could look bomb, but if the whole rest of the room looks crazy, like,
I think it goes really far in building and nurturing just vendor partner relationships. We know that if we need something, if we have an event literally tomorrow and we have no flowers, we can call, right? And you'll help, right? Or you'll save our butt.
Even if it doesn't have to do with flowers.
Yeah, even if it doesn't have to do with flowers. We've called for random things. I think I've called about like cake stands, bases,
candles,
random things.
Drapery, you called me for.
And so I think having that relationship is really, really important. And that relationship, I think, is built and nurtured as we're working in events together. So.
And I would say, I know you said like, I kind of happened and had a natural ability, which is so funny. So Leslie and I always love to tell the story. When we first started planning, we were very much like you. We jumped in. I think we had some natural abilities and talents and like are very hands-on. And I think it was important for us to learn.
Honey, I thought
every part of the business. Leslie was the Leslo florist for like our first couple of events. My girl.
Throws in old picture.
I don't even know. We shouldn't even show.
I think we should show it because we're always transparent.
That's true.
I think one of the questions
we thought we were doing.
We did. I remember we did a styled shoot with Andre Brown photography.
Oh my God.
And he did it for free, of course. Styled shoot. We're gonna put the picture up.
But we've all been there.
No, I think it's important to show the journey and like show the growth, and we like to be transparent. But one of the questions that we get in our DMs, I get in my DMs a lot, are how do I get started, right? What do I do? Do you have any advice for people trying to get into this industry? And that's what we did. We literally had to learn along the way and grow and do things and learn from those things. And so one of the things we did to just get content when we were first getting started was a styled shoot. And so in that, I guess that was the very first one that we ever did.
That was the very first styled shoot.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even call it a styled shoot now, but we are gonna call it that because that's what we thought we were doing, a styled shoot. But I did the flowers for it. We came up with a little concept.
And then like even learning, like at the time we didn't know about like wholesale floral. And, like,
we didn't know anything.
So we were like along the way, like where can we get this volume of floral? And like Leslie was like YouTubing what we need to put like floral together. So we have something fun later where we're gonna show the difference.
We do.
But speaking of that, I think one thing that we learned really quickly is that like DIY floral was just not our area of expertise. And I think it really helped. It seems in theory simple and easy, but there's so many things that you don't know about, like sourcing stems and prepping stems and like putting things together and like ensuring that they look like they don't look wilted and like dry and horrible the next day. So
we just don't know the back end, right, of flowers. I think as planners, we know. Let me take a step back. I do think, going back to what I said earlier, one of the things as event planners, I think it's important for every event planner to kind of know basic floral 101, right? If there's a local class that you can take just to learn the basics, I think that's really, really important because on event day, remember we had that arrangement fall there was an arrangement that fell.
Yes.
And like I had to go.
We've had an altar fall.
We've had things happen. It's just how the cookie crumbles. And it's important as a planner to be able to get in there in emergency situations and kind of know, right, basic knowledge. So that is one word of advice that I would give.
I agree.
Outside of that, we're not florists, right? We're not experts, I think, and that's why I think it's important to bring on people like Justin and like luxury florists that can help you and collaborate with you to really bring your visions to life.
Yeah.
And I'll use the example of the Joseph wedding that we just did. We like had a concept, right? We talked with Justin about it, and both of us in the conversation were like, we don't really want to do this like standard centerpiece that everybody does. And so in that conversation, Justin was like, I've been wanting to do these bridges. Let's do this. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And literally like just that collaboration and that conversation, us trusting Justin with like the overall vision, and like he really elevated it from what it was initially. And I think that's part of why it's important to bring somebody that is an expert like you onto the team.
Absolutely, and I think what you said earlier, like why it's such a high price item and things like that, it's a lot that goes into it beyond just flowers. You know, when you're paying for a wedding and when you see these invoices, you're not paying for one day of flowers and the day before.
Exactly.
If your wedding's on a Saturday, we're generally starting on a Tuesday. You're paying me and a staff to work and produce these flowers that are coming in from all over the world, essentially. For these big weddings, like the Joseph wedding you're talking about, we had roses coming in from Miami and Rio and everywhere.
Okay, Rio.
And we're saying thousands of roses that have to be kept at a room temperature and processed and put in buckets and, you know.
Well, can we talk about that? Because I think that's a really great point, right? Like when you go out and you buy a bouquet, or you're at Whole Foods and you buy, 20 stems.
Yeah.
I think people naturally, when they think about florals, like that's their point of reference. So they're like, okay, it's like, instead of one bouquet for $20, it's 200 bouquets for $20. And like, it still doesn't seem like maybe the level, like I think the investment, I think one of the things Lesson I get the most like the wide eyes
Yeah,
about.
and that's honestly the way you say investment, that's truly what it is. You're investing in an event. You're not just paying for something.
100%. What are some of the things? I know you kind of were touching on them. Like, give us a peek behind the curtains of like floral. Like if someone were to ask like, why are florals so expensive? Which we get a lot, like, dang, we wouldn't expect it like 10K or 15K or 20K, right? Because that's a reality. This whole
30K,
6K, this whole $5,000 floral thing is
good.
not a real thing. First of all, florists have minimums. For valid reason, but I would love just for you to provide a little bit of context for like what is going on behind the scenes when it's like you have this vision, you see this thing, and like how are you making it go from page to like IRL?
I feel like people don't understand flowers have to be purchased too on our end. So just like you go to Whole Foods and Publix and Kroger, things cost, and they're costing more and more every single day. So you're paying for that service, not even this item, you're paying for that service. And again, if say you have a wedding for 200 people and you're contacting me for a wedding, your wedding's on a Saturday, we're starting on Tuesday. This is getting in a truck, having shit stuff delivered, picking it up at the airport, taking it to the studio, unboxing it, putting it in water, keeping them alive for this entire week while we work with these florals and making sure they're transported from the studio to your ceremony, to your reception, making sure everything is done. You're paying for, service. Essentially, you're paying
and staffing.
Yeah. It's not just you paying that one florist and you an invoice. You're paying for 10 to 12 people sometimes for an event. The Joseph wedding, we had 12 people on site. Imagine you're paying people hourly. You're paying for their lunches. You're paying for things. You're paying for freelancers, so you're not just paying, minimum wage. You're paying people for what they're worth and what their experience is. So if you want to have this big luxury wedding that you see on Instagram that you're generally screenshotting, you got to pay for it.
And like, what are you doing with the flowers? Because I think, again, DIY, at-home girly, self-love girlies are going to Trader Joe's, again, their little stems, and taking them out of the plastic and putting them in a vase. But I feel like there's extra like trimming and like
there's a lot more into it.
What is it? The roses, like you fluff them. Like there's so much. Like I can imagine. I mean, I don't want to do that to 20. Like please send me a bouquet.
So
like, send me flowers. I don't want to.
So imagine it takes 20 to 30 minutes to do a dozen roses in your kitchen, taking the leaves off, putting them in water, snipping them. Imagine that times 5,000. How many hands that takes, how much longer it takes to put that in. And you're paying for the water that goes into these 50 buckets that have to be filled. You are processing and snipping a lot more. You're putting in quick dip and all these other things that have to go into the water itself to keep them alive for that amount of time. So it's not just you know, a quick boom, boom, bam. It's literally hours and hours of work. So we're putting in, you know, 10 to 12 hours a day, making sure that your wedding is pulled off of the hitch.
Beyond before the event.
Before
so
the
you
event.
Said starting Tuesday. That's 10 to 12 hours a day,
yeah,
like
way
4
before.
or 5 days before your
and you know,
event
and
is
just
happening.
again, full transparency in the industry. If you're a starting out freelancer, or you know, someone who's in the floral industry, $25 an hour, and you're paying 10 people that rate per day, it's a lot.
Expensive.
It's a lot. So when you get these $20,000 invoices, you know,
That's why.
people think like people think we're living this luxury life as florists. I make, you know, 10% of that. A lot of it goes to, you know, back into your wedding, and that's just, you know, full transparency. So you know, sometimes you can get away with spending $5,000, but you won't get the same amount of product and you won't get the same amount of service.
You get what you pay for. I think that's what I think. And we've had clients that are like, right, when we were first getting started. And I think you just get what you pay for. When you don't pay for the luxury experience, right, from start to finish, that's what you get.
And that's not to diminish, like there is a market and an audience that is kind of maybe more DIY, or they have smaller budgets. And I totally understand the people who don't want to make the $100,000, $200,000 investment. I mean, that is indulgent, and like we've chosen to kind of categorize our businesses in that way, but that doesn't mean that has to be everyone's truth. And so I guess the follow-up question would be, what's something like, no matter what your budget, what is an important question or two that you think, like as clients or whether they're like going directly to a florist or whether they're planners, what are like one or two like really important questions you think people should be asking, or like important pieces of information to know kind of going into wedding planning?
I think
when you're talking to or looking for a florist.
Well, I think the most important question a client or planner to any florist should be, what's your preferred design style? I think you have a lot of, again, great relationships, you know, in the industry, but you have to know that person's design style. So if you came to me with the boho chic wedding, just because we're, you know, we work together all the time and we have this great relationship, I know I can say no. It's not a point to where, you know, you have florists that here, well, I'll take it because I need the job and I want to do it. I have to respect that client's vision because I know I can't, that's not my preferred style.
I think that's a really, really good point. And I think a lot of clients, brides, grooms, when they are kind of exploring, maybe you don't have a planner, I think they're just going after wedding florists, and they don't consider like, is this a florist that's in alignment with what I'm trying to do, right? And sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
right?
and
if we were gonna do boho, you already know, we're gonna call Laura. That's the boho queen in Atlanta, and I think people know that. And not that she can't do other things, but
and
I
not
think
that other florists can't do boho.
But like she really excels in that design aesthetic, and that's a really important point.
For me, I'm a lush designer. I love to use flowers. You know, my base is in flowers. If we're using greenery, I'm using roses, and you know that's a more pricier thing, but that's also the clientele I get to work with. Not everyone can do that, but you have to just know where you're going and what you're trying to do, because if you don't, you'll end up with a not so great look because it's not that person's style, and there's, you know, on both ends it's bad because you're out, again, I don't know where to source, you know, boho things or, you know, the dried things. So it's like, I can source them obviously, but it's like, it's not my preferred thing to do. And obviously Laura, which I know, Floral Botanicals, which I adore.
Shout out to Flora. We love her.
She's also gonna have a great thing. That's my girl and I love her. So anytime I can pass her a wedding or do anything, I will. And, you know, that's why I expect you to as well, because you don't bring the same florist, the same, all your clients, because that you have that great relationship. It's, you know, it's about the client at the end of the day, the client experience, which I keep on saying. It's about their look and their vision. I think that's really important.
Well, I think that's the value of a planner too, right? It's like when we even talk about like florists are an investment, I think planners are an investment. And like, you know, whether people feel like it's valuable or not, one of the benefits that I think we bring as planners is that knowledge and like our ability to really quickly kind of indicate, like, number one, help you determine your style, because I think that can be a challenge for a lot of people. They have their Pinterest boards and Pinterest goals and like
pics, screenshots,
inspo pics, and sometimes we get back like Pinterest boards that have 4 or 5 different styles, and I think people don't even quite realize that yet because that's not their area of expertise. So helping to really kind of hone in on a design genre or like aesthetic, I think is part of the value that we bring. But the other part is confidently knowing who can deliver on that design aesthetic and calling people like you when we're like, oh, this is right up your alley, right? Like we know you would kill it and freak it. And we can work with like, again, I think that there's a minimum threshold, but we can work with things to be like, okay, how can we trim this down a little bit, or like pull this back. And to Les's point earlier, that's the benefit of like a conversation, or blow it out. Like we've done this 4 times. Everybody loves this style. Cool, we love this style, but how can we do it a little bit different? And like we can only take it so far because that's your area of expertise, right?
Yeah, the floral gates. We're not to drop that. That was great. And I think that's like a really good example of like leaning on, again, we're not florists. And so we entrust and lean on our floral friends and our floral frienders, experts to like really help elevate whatever's in our heads.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so I want to play a game. You guys
of course
know we
you want
love,
to play a game.
We can't call it FMK or whatever we call it, like it, love it, hate it. But I just want to talk about like what's trending in floral. We both said like we only know just enough probably to be dangerous. But I would love to hear from both of you guys, like what's something that you're loving right now from a floral trend perspective, and what's something that you're like, if I got to do another one of these, like I'm over it. Like it can go. I can start. I always mess up this. I know I ask you about these all the time. Anthuriums.
Anthurium. You got it. You got it.
I thought it was
Another.
I am obsessed with anthuriums right now. People either love it or hate it. I think I probably throw them in basically every design board. Why I love them is because I feel like they're so versatile. And I think that what I see from a like trend and like fresh and new perspective, there's so much that you can do with them. People like bedazzle them and like paint them like with these iridescent cool color tones. Like they're just like eclectic and modern and like have this personality that is like right up my alley. I'm obsessed.
I thought you were talking about the amaranth.
Those are the dangling ones.
Yeah.
I do like those too. But those anthuriums right now, and like the people who are putting pearls are like.
And it's crazy because in the 70s and 80s they were so hot and they died out.
Really?
But now they're back and they're making like a true comeback.
Were they like customizing them in the 70s and 80s?
They were just the classic like reds and the greens, and it became like a church flower, or like, you know, how people
like the church flower.
People hated carnations for a while. Now carnations are making their way back. I feel like history only repeats itself.
Well, that's my love it. If I had to like, what I'm all gas, no brakes on right now is anthuriums. They're like top tier for me.
I still love it, but I think I'm growing to kind of be like tired of it a little bit. Is this whole like baby's breath wedding vibe. I think love it. We've done it a couple times. We have another wedding coming up, which I think the design is great. But I think I'm over. I want to see baby's breath used in like a new way. I think that we've seen the baby's breath weddings, we've seen the baby's breath bouquets, we've seen it. Everybody's doing it. We're popping in the roses. I know we love babies. Everybody loves baby's breath now, which is great because I know it is a more affordable stem, but I want to see like new, cool, I'm really excited about December 9th. I think that'll be a really cool like installation.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just kind
over
of,
it.
I think I'm over
You like have baby's breath fatigue.
Yeah, I think and then it's like repeat. Everybody wants to do it.
But it's all about how you do it, and then how you like people are painting them and coloring them.
I was gonna
say, which I
that's
think is cool. Yeah, but I'm tired of like the clouds.
The clouds have been done.
I'm tired of the clouds. I'm tired of the baby's breath. Pop some orchid, pop some roses. Like
it's been done. I mean,
it's been done a million
Okay,
times.
Justin, what are you? I'm dying.
You know, in Atlanta, I'm so sick of the white and blush, and
I always call it like the love and hip hop vibe. Like I think Atlanta is like glam luxe.
It like has a brand. Atlanta has a brand.
I think that there is like a
design.
So
like
I will say
blood.
my love is definitely going into color.
Okay.
My hate is the word for the term luxe, because what does luxe really mean?
This is so funny. I literally just was talking about this with my friend, and he was like, luxury is an experience. He's like, it's not necessarily like a cost. He was
Yeah.
like, luxury is like the experience that you're curating. And he was like, and I really want you guys to think about how you can develop that
Because
word.
we can do, you know, like we did for the wedding, we just talked about luxury bridges that cost thousands of dollars. Or I've seen weddings that could be simple bud vases and tea lights and give that same amount of, you know,
luxury
experience.
feeling.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly.
So it's all
So
about,
that's a
not,
really
it's not
interesting
like, it's kind of like
conversation.
clothes. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. So
Yeah.
it's like if you're in the right setting, in the right time, I feel like anything can be luxury. But I
Yeah.
feel like selling something as luxury is not a thing because
Yeah.
it's not a thing, it's an experience. And,
It
you know, it's how
is.
you feel and how you get feeling from that
Yeah.
thing.
I do think luxury comes at a cost, though, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you can take a basic and make it luxe. Like they're talking this whole like old money thing that's going around on the socials now. That's like a very basic aesthetic,
And it's like
but
minimalism.
basic, proper, right? So I think that there are, to your point, it could be tea lights and floral, but I think it is number one the experience. I still think there's a level of like quality
Investment.
standard,
Yeah,
though, and, like,
because if you're doing,
investment.
you know, Bud Lights, Bud Vases and tea lights.
Yeah, okay.
Right, Bud Vases and tea lights, you can also do that in the St. Regis, but it might not give you
Yeah.
the same feeling if you're in, you know,
Right.
your mom's backyard, which
Exactly.
again, you can be on an estate. But if you're
Yeah.
just in a random backyard somewhere, it might feel like, oh, this is cool, but it's not like what it is. But if
Yeah.
you're walking into the St. Regis and you're seeing just this minimal design, it's like, oh, this is like,
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
J-Lo's wedding. Very
Yeah.
minimal. Even her bouquet was very minimal. I'm pretty sure it was baby sprout.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, I think that's a really good example. While I didn't love the wedding,
Oh.
the design, I will say that. I do think it's like giving like the old money.
Yeah.
It was still a luxury experience. And I do think, of course, there was still an investment, but it was overall the experience versus like $60,000 in florals.
Yeah.
Because you're putting that money other places that can
Right.
be used other places. If you don't have it to spend it in
Exactly.
for every line item,
Yeah.
pick and choose where you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to give, you know, some type of.
I think the Atlanta
somewhere.
folks are leaning into the luxury investment for floral.
Well, I will tell you guys my hate it, which I hate to even say it's my hate it, because I don't like hate the aesthetic. I like a boho aesthetic. I'm kind of over pompous right now. I'm over the pompous.
Ooh, they're going to come at you with
grass.
pitchforks
I
and
know.
flames, girl.
No. I'm kind of over the pompous grass. Like I think, and maybe, I don't think I'm over it. I think maybe I'm just like oversaturated by like pompous and boho. Like I love a boho aesthetic. I like when people can execute boho without pompous, if that makes sense. Like if you can give me like textural, really cool, earthy kind of tones and colors and like kind of introduce colors like that dusty rose and stuff without pompous. That's my preferred direction for boho right now. I just am like the pompous grass.
And the fans.
A pompous grass
The fans,
wall.
I'm over the
yeah, the
fans.
fans are done.
A pompous
the
grass wall,
it's
a-
messy.
Bing! We need to show the people the
Fans.
fans.
It's like, I think I like, in general, if you were to be like, what are your favorite aesthetics? I love a boho aesthetic, but I
Yeah.
think similar to maybe how you feel about like
A more
baby
modernized
breath.
version of
like
it.
I want to see something. I want to see people interpret boho differently. I think right now, so
Yeah.
that's my.
Take us to the West Coast.
That's my.
And that's where
Yeah.
I was going to go. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like being in the South, we're kind of trapped in that hydrangeas, roses, baby's breath, pompous.
Hydrangea balls, please.
Oh.
Hydrangea ball.
It
I think we
is.
can all agree that we hate hydrangea ball.
I call it a rose hydrangea two-piece, just boom, on the table. And it's like, again, I've done it because that's what the clients wanted in the beginning, but I had to grow out of that and remember what I like. You
Yeah.
know, my preferred design style, as I said, you know, being from Los Angeles, I see so many weddings that are like,
West Coast.
I see these amazing weddings, and it's like I get so many screenshots and mood boards and Pinterest
Yeah.
boards of weddings that I see done in LA from some of my favorite designers, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to bring that to Atlanta. I want to give that experience.
We
So
relate to that, I know.
Yeah.
the weddings that we've done together, I've tried to bring that in.
Yeah.
Again, the wedding we keep talking about, Gabby, you did it. This Joseph wedding, we got to bring some of that luxury from the West and bring it over here to where it wasn't
Yeah.
just greenery and a couple
Yeah.
roses. It was like glam and just
It
big and
was.
over the top, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It
The color and just everything that was great.
Which I think is always so interesting too, because I think it is an important skill to have, whether you're a florist or a planner, and we talk about this a lot. We all have our own personal like design aesthetics. And sometimes the aesthetic that the client wants is not the aesthetic that you like, but you still have to be able to like deliver and execute on that. And I know like Les and I laugh about this all the time because often it'll be like her throwing up some concepts and I'll throw up some concepts. But I've had to call Leslie so many times, like, I just don't get this. I don't get what they want. I'm not understanding. I'm trying to pull together a mood board. It's not my vibe. And Leslie's like, I got it. And she throws it together and they're like, perfect. And I'm like, I would have never got here. Like, but I think that's the cool thing about us too, because we have different like design aesthetics and likes that like oftentimes, like I said, if it's like a super minimal, like Asian inspired, but like that's up my alley, modern contemporary. Like Leslie can like pull together these like lush, luxe, like interesting color like patterns. And sometimes I'm just like, which I think was true for Gabby, I could not like get there. Like I just like, I was like throwing stuff and like kind of got there, but like I feel like you were able to bring it home in a way that like I would have been able to bring it home.
And it was such a moody board, and just it was very emotional and very just the colors blended so well. From the moment I seen it, I was like, I have to do this wedding. Like I don't care what we got to come down and go up on. I have to do this wedding.
Well, guys, I hate to cut our conversation short, but we got a whole floral workshop. We gotta get over to the bar for the floral workshop.
We didn't even tell the people, but
Do you want to tell the people now?
No, I know it's awkward.
Tell the people.
We have a little special something for you guys this time. We were talking about the DIY girlies and how floral is a skill, and
how luxury is an experience.
And how luxury is an experience.
And how you can experience it in home.
And how Leslie is the florist. So we threw together a little competition. Yikes. Really the goal is for Justin to give a little perspective on how you guys can elevate your own arrangements, whether you're making them at home or for a little dinner party. Like everything doesn't need a planner and a big budget. So
a wedding does need a planner.
Let's hop over to the floral bar and see who comes out on top.
And Justin, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy that you were
Honestly,
here.
an honor to be here. You guys are my favorites.
We adore you. Peace out. See you guys over at the floral bar. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Love you, Mina.
And follow.
Follow, please.
And Tico said we gotta go.
So bye. Okay, well now that we have had some really great gimlets with the blackberry.
Too many.
It's time to transition to the floral workshop.
Yes,
so.
I'm really excited about this because I am a girly who loves floral. I do try to go grab floral from the store often, and my arrangements don't be looking professional despite being an event planner. I think you kind of naturally have had an ability to do floral for a long time. So you guys, this is like, people pay for this kind of course. Jay Madison is gonna walk us through some fundamentals of floral design while we talk about, I don't know, whatever else.
We gotta talk about
what we like and what we don't like
that's
trending in the floral industry. So let's get to it.
Can we just talk about what's starting, like what's even this situation
happening?
Before
we get there, just kind of level setting. So what we're gonna do today in our tipsy floral workshop is Jay Madison is going to build an arrangement, and we are also going to try to build one. And we're gonna rank who's better at the end.
We're using these flowers as microphones.
And I think this is a great start because one of my favorite questions that I get, when we're doing invoices and proposals is, can my aunt do this or can my cousin do this? And I'm like, no, because one, if I do an amazing wedding setup and your cousin does the bouquet and that bouquet is not up to the standard, and even if I do something simple, you want something simple, and your cousin does something super lavish, I'll get the credit for it. And that's something I never want to do. And if it's something that's not good, I also would not want credit for that.
Okay, so I have a question. What's an alternative for, like, let's say you do want your family member to contribute. Do you have an idea on a way they could contribute? Maybe it's like...
Financially.
I mean, either if it's not financially, there's always the rehearsal dinner or the engagement party. Do things like that. But for your wedding day,
Not
it's in
the
my
wedding.
contract. I have to do everything for the day, provide everything for that day.
Come on, contract.
That's
And
what
y'all
it
need to
is.
read y'all's contract.
Oh.
And vendors have a contract.
Oh.
Not
All right.
just taking money.
Okay.
So let's get into it.
So yeah, to
Talk
start,
to us about what we're doing today.
today we're creating an arrangement, and I wanted to do something that everyone can do. So everything that you see up here is from a grocery store. So whether it's Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Kroger, all of this came from a major retail provider. So we're gonna start off with a simple vase. We have our Lazy Susan. With the Lazy Susan, you're gonna be able to spin your arrangement, get full coverage, and see what you're doing on the front and the back. You never want to have a face. And great roses here. We got some shimmer roses, we got spray roses, we got some butterfly ranunculus, carnations, a great filler that I love to start with. This is my favorite filler, which is stock. It has a great smell. They come in many colors. You got some Oncidium orchids here.
Oh, it does smell good.
It smells like what you would think a flower smells.
It
Yeah.
smells like, no, it smells sweet.
It smells like flowers. Continue.
And we got some Crespidia here, better
I
known.
Some
love
what? What is this
This,
called?
this is Crespidia, better known as the belly
Crespidia.
ball. Crespidia.
I love those.
Better
I see
known,
those all the
Lo does
time.
love these.
I do.
They do take color very well. You can paint them, you can dip them, you can do anything to them. And we have chicken wire here, which is a good structure and a good base. That's a good alternative to flower foam. Oasis is most called in the industry, or it's called in the industry. This is a alternative that we can use that's reusable. You can use this 100 times. It's metal. Sustainable. It is
Hashtag
wax coated, so that way if you have an arrangement in your house, they do have versions that are just metal that will rust if you put it in water. But this green coated here is made just for flowers, so that way it does not rust. It's in here. You can reuse it again and again and again, and if you have it, it's about $17 to $20 a roll. It's not bad.
Love that.
Shout out to our sis and the environmentalist in Green Tea Wednesday.
Environmental engineer.
I think she would appreciate that.
Appreciate.
We love a sustainable moment.
It's trendy right now in the event industry.
And it makes it a lot easier,
Sustainability.
for your arrangements at home when you are building for yourself. You want to change your water every, 1 to 2 days. This is a quick pour. Your flowers can stay in here; they won't move. Versus you doing it, with none of this. Your flowers come out, you got to rearrange it. Just this quick tempo.
Where can you get the wire like this?
This is either from Lowe's or Home Depot. I'm a big Home Depot fan.
Easy.
Home Depot is my best friend.
And it's just called
chicken wire.
You can probably get it from Amazon, wax coated though.
Yeah, you want to find a wax coat. You can get it from Amazon, but it's much cheaper for a bigger roll. I mean, if you are, a florist coming up, you want to go to Home Depot. If you are just doing your home arrangements, Amazon. Michael's even has it for just your 1 or 2 arrangement that you're gonna be doing.
Awesome.
Okay, let's get into the making.
Yeah, so
To
of
the
course,
design.
For me, I love to start with my base, which is gonna be our stock. So we can start there. You're gonna wanna start off by taking off all of your greenery and your foliage and throwing
So
that in
like
the trash.
remove it.
Removing it, yes.
Okay.
The little
And you can
green
leave a little
leaf.
bit on there. Again, it's your style. So if you like a little more garden rough,
I like a little garden. I don't
textural,
wanna
leave a
take
little
it.
bit at the top. It's really, really
We're
cute.
like doing it together though, so it has to look.
Yeah.
Okay, do it in your style. I don't want to do it in to see if it.
And for me, I love to this,
I'm gonna do the
your
first
fillers are gonna be your base, they're gonna be your structure, they're gonna be your skeleton. So, this is gonna create your flow of your arrangement
Okay.
and how you're gonna build it. So, you start and you just, you can start with some height.
Wait, how do I open the leaves?
Right down. Also from Home Depot, this is not it's not an ad, but Husky shears, you want to get a good pair of shears or a good pair of kitchen scissors, it all works.
How do we cut it?
You want to cut it at an angle so that way there's some water intake, so that way your flowers are drinking.
How you wanna
And
cut
create your
these?
shape.
How about I do all the stuff?
Okay, you do the stock.
Okay.
I'll prep your stems for you.
Okay.
You gotta make it though, like while
I
he's
am.
doing
I'm
it.
trying to cut the stock first.
So while we're doing this,
Wait, but as I'm. Again, there's a different angle.
how many filler pieces should we be going for? Like, is there like a number, or is it just like what is our goal with the filler? Just to try to like.
Flowers generally comes in pack of 10 or 12, generally 10.
Okay.
So when you have your fillers, you generally want to use all your filler to cover your basics.
Okay.
That's going to be able to cover the lip of your vessel.
copy it.
And help get a good base and a good structure. Remember that here today we do have a lot of different varieties of flowers,
I
so
want to
we
keep
do
a
have
little of
different
the green,
options.
sis.
Okay.
So you don't have to necessarily use all of them. Again, create 1 or 2 arrangements if you can. Don't feel like you have to make one big one. You have a whole home, do something in your bathroom, your kitchen, wherever you can.
Good point.
If you have some extra, but.
So if you get a couple of bundles from like TJ's, you can probably make a couple of arrangements.
Absolutely. Everything we have up here is from Trader Joe's and Whole Foods.
Okay.
So just to show that you can get luxury arrangements and luxury things from, your just everyday retailers.
Do you think we should use all of our
I do think you should use all of your stock. That's going to give you a good base.
Our stock.
Okay. Okay, so while we're doing this, you guys know we like to play games. And so I know we usually play Love It, Hate It. I'm so interested, VJ Madison, and what is a floral trend that you are loving, that you think needs to continue, or that you would love to see more of?
I am loving right now color. Color is huge right now, and I'm so excited that people are trusting their guts and going with color. I feel like in Atlanta, especially in the South, we get a lot of blush and white and, just greens and white. And I feel like let's play in those oranges and those yellows and those golds and those metallics. And start bringing those things to life, because, these are big events, and I feel like we should have events that, 10 years from now, when these things are trending, be ahead of the game, which is fun.
Okay, and then what is a kill it? If you could never do something with a stem or a type again, if you're over it, what is a hate it for you right now in the floral trends?
My hate it, unfortunately, would be candle trees, which are like candelabras with the 8 arms, and
You're ready to let them go?
They've been done.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. Florists often do decorative elements too. So florists typically, I know you oftentimes will provide the candles, or you can provide the candelabras or the votive containers. It's not exclusively floral, so that's good to know. I feel you on the candelabras.
Yeah.
I think they're a little gaudy, and I think that there's ways to do them tastefully, but I think we've seen them.
Yeah.
I think for me, what's the hate it? I think.
Wait, he's starting on a carnation.
Okay,
you go.
So yeah, for our filler, we do have stock and carnation, so you want to start being able to get in some of those.
Okay. So the carnations are the cream and the yellow?
Cream and the yellow, yes.
Okay.
So it's these peachy colors great. It's gonna give that softness to it to break up some of that purple, which is very deep.
This is little.
Go, I'm doing all the same.
And then with your flowers, sometimes they won't be open at the store. You want to just give them a nice little.
That's a good
just some
tip.
help.
I feel
just to help cover some of that real estate.
I feel like I do that a lot, and people shouldn't be scared to open up the petals.
No,
right?
it's natural. It doesn't affect their lifeline or anything like that. They'll still live the same length, but just give them a little help opening up.
Sis, you're cutting them the same size.
And for my one rule is, when I hear you say that they're cutting them the same size, you should never have 2 flowers on the same plane. And when I say that, there should be never 2 flowers at the same exact height.
You need to turn.
A lot of my arrangements, I'd like to look at them like, personal gardens. So, when you look at a garden, nothing's the same height. You have things go wrong in different paces and different lengths, which is very fun.
It's kind of hard.
It's very natural.
Okay.
And floral design is very hard. So as you see, again, too, at the professional and, people who are just having fun, when you're hiring someone, you want to look for that experience, because, it does cost to get this level of experience.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Well, what's that floral? Talking about love it and hate it as far as florals, I've really been obsessed with baby's breath recently, but I think I've also tired myself. I've done baby's breath and pitched baby's breath so much that I'm kind of okay, baby's breath. What is the flower I like? I keep forgetting the name.
Anthurium.
Anthuriums, and how people are painting them in cool ways with iridescent color, or they're doing the dual color. I love the customization of painting stems, which I feel I don't know why I naturally felt stems just come in different colors, but oftentimes you guys are customizing to match an event specifically. So can you talk a little bit about what is that painting floral and going into floral prep? Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like? I know you said earlier we're buying florals and prepping florals. So that means opening roses. Can you talk just a little bit more about what the floral prep process is?
So with floral painting, it's a lot more in depth. Generally, you can't paint them too early on, because of course that paint will dry and cut off the air supply and the water supply for the flowers. So it is a more in-depth thing. It is a lot harder, but for a client, again, that white glove service, you're gonna go to the, the 9 to give them what they want. And if it's a certain shade of pink or red or purple or a dual color, like you said, where you can do a dual tone, bloom, you're gonna go ahead and just do that. I have found special paints that you can do things with. Traditional spray paint, you don't always want to use just a Home Depot paint because that'll kill your flowers very quickly. And again, that costs as well. So when you have flowers that need to be custom painted, you have to think we have to order custom paint for this. We have to have extra labor to paint these things. And we can't just paint, an arrangement. I've done arrangements where they're all gold. So yes, we can paint everything gold. But when you have 1,000 roses that need to be a certain color, that's one by one, someone sitting and painting that for you.
Which goes back to the labor cost.
Labor.
Y'all our clients love to, why is it? That's
so why. Yeah, so you will get, you may have a quote that has,
our arrangement looks good.
20% of the arrangement or 20% of the proposal is labor. That's why you're paying people to do a job that's very intricate, very, very, very hard.
Well, it probably also wouldn't even look good for it. Like we're using so far we're at 3 different colors, like a monochromatic all gold arrangement probably wouldn't even look aesthetically. Like you have to have texture or maybe different shades of gold or maybe summer gold, like have accents of gold, but just like you can't build this and just paint it all gold and think
absolutely.
It's lit. Yeah.
I do think the monochromatic is trending. Monochromatic floral, monochromatic kind of design.
Monochromatic.
Isn't that the word?
It's monochromatic. What did I say? I thought you said monochromatic.
I said
She said monochromatic. She had it right.
Anyway, monochromatic is definitely something that's trending in the event industry.
Absolutely.
From floral to design.
And like I said, recently I've seen a spike in metallics. I've done, this year alone, lots of gold roses, which are very, very cool. I
love that.
People are branching out and they're doing different things, which I love.
This
I'm
smells
excited.
like something very
What's our
specific, and I can't get.
So from here we have our base, we have our fillers, which is going to cover most of our mechanics.
I feel like his look a little better.
Reason 1001 why you should
hire a professional.
Hire a florist, but it's okay. We're gonna y'all gonna vote at the end. Y'all gonna tell us which floral arranger looks better, which is probably gonna be Madison.
So from here, and I kind of have it laid out how we're gonna go. I have here, we're gonna get some height and some structure and some architecture in here, which is very cool. Some
and these
movement.
are the Irish.
These are the bells of Ireland.
Bells of Ireland.
We're Irish.
Well, while
Allegedly.
we're cutting.
Oh, he didn't cut that.
I cut it.
While
Oh,
we're
you did
cutting
cut
the bells of Ireland, what's another trend? I can talk one that I dislike since we're talking about love it, hate it. One thing that I know that you said you don't love the stemmed candelabras. These are very interesting to work with.
These are our height.
Yeah, I know. I know you said you don't love the candelabras, which I agree. One thing that I don't love that I think, DIY folks are liking are like the little floral walls. I don't know. Like if you're gonna do a floral wall, you gotta do it. It can't be like a build your own floral wall.
I feel that. I don't like the fake floral walls.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think people see like the Kim K wedding wall or whatever that was. It wasn't even a wedding. It was just like Valentine's Day or something.
And they're trying to make them.
Yeah. Or Erica Mena in Safari had they out.
Oh yeah, they did.
They had a floral wall and people were like, I love this, but those were real roses or like real floral.
So when you think of installs like that, these are like 10 to 15,000 by themselves.
Yeah.
These
just
are
for that.
Just for that one.
How many flowers is it?
I mean,
I'm just curious.
Thousands. I mean, we do it by, or for me personally,
I think I need a smaller.
I do everything by square foot. So when you have, an 8x8, flower wall that's 64 square foot, and you're thinking about $100 to $200 per square foot of flowers, it gets pretty pricey. And per square foot, you're thinking about maybe 15 to 20 roses by themselves, and that's just roses, and you're using quality roses that cost, us
it's
as
expensive.
florists buying wholesale $2-3 per stem.
Yeah.
Here we have a shimmer rose which can cost, up to, $225 for one. And we're talking using $2,000 to $3,000 for a wedding sometime. Which is crazy.
Which is why
everything is so fragrant. It smells like mowing the lawn.
So here we have butterfly ranunculus, which are one of the most expensive flowers. a pack of 10 of these can cost up to $25 to $26, which is expensive.
25 to 26 for
Yeah,
what?
for these butterfly ranunculus
These
here.
little ones?
No, the other one here.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
These. Okay.
I feel like I love what I did
25
there.
to $26
For
these?
a good pack of these. Again, these are from Trader Joe's, so these cost about $8. But again, when you're doing a wedding and you need 20 packs of these, you're not gonna be able to go to Trader Joe's. If you're doing a small backyard wedding, I absolutely suggest not hiring a florist and maybe doing it yourself because you'll save a lot of money.
Not a
But when you're
backyard
hiring
wedding.
someone, we pay good money to give you good quality product.
But you ordered like basically one bundle of all of these different floral types. So we're really using like, you have 5 or 6 different types of floral. So that's one bundle per arrangement because we're using,
Absolutely.
so if you think about it, it's like not just one bouquet of roses, it's
Yeah.
one per arrangement that you want to
Absolutely.
have.
Okay, well, one of the other things that we can talk about is just like relationships with vendors. I think, as we were saying earlier, you know, being a planner, you know, we work with a lot of florists, designers, and they don't necessarily only provide flowers. And so I think like maintaining those relationships is really important because you just never know. I know recently we had an event and we were working with a different florist, and I feel like Justin, I called you and I was like, where the heck can I get taper candles? And so I just think that goes to show like how important it is to, you know, maintain your relationship because you never know when you'll need somebody, even if they're not, oh, I'm out, sis, we used them all.
Well, I think to your point about relationships, relationship is important too, and not just, I think one of the things that for me and Les, we try to establish is rapport beyond just like you're providing a product or service. I think like we really appreciate like artistry, period, and your artistry. And I think to what we were talking about earlier on the couch, like just how you could be a better partner. I think on one side, it's like we talked about earlier, how you will like roll up your sleeves and literally help us with like tableware, drapery,
ladders.
But I think on the reverse for the planners, like I think it's important not to be scared to get your hands dirty. Like
Yeah.
I think planners sometimes come in and they're just like,
And that's the thing, like, you know, when working with certain planners, we have these luxury planners who show up with full glam teams. They're coming fully dressed in suits and, you know, head to toe makeup on the, you know, during setup. And it's like, this is your client, so you should be ready. And I'm all here for getting dressed afterwards and making sure you're ready for showtime. But during setup, I feel like you should be hands-on and, you know, ready to get your hands dirty because, again, this is your client's event. And from my perspective, you know, having client experience, every single thing should be perfect, no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's real. I think some of the feedback that we get a lot as planners is that we are really hands-on. So yes, we absolutely will get our face beat, and it might be a beat face until, you know, with our little setup outfit, which is leggings,
Nike.
Shout out to Nike.
Love Nike.
Give us a deal. But I do think that that's real. Like sometimes it is important. You do have to get your feet wet. You do have to kind of get down and dirty. Why are you laughing? Because look at ours versus look at his.
This is why you should hire a planner.
I feel like it looks pretty good.
It's good. It's textural. It's moment.
Look at his. What is this, Lo? I'm gonna have to fix this. Okay, what's next?
So we're just adding in all of our, you know, star flowers now. So you got your butterfly ranunculus in there already, which is pretty good. So next we're just gonna add our roses.
No, he added them.
Oh, okay.
Your roses, and you got your spray roses here. So let's just add those in and see where we
Okay,
finish
let's
off at.
switch. And my little bobbles. Okay.
Go ahead. I'll let you add the. What are they? The bells.
Yeah, the Billy Bobs.
I feel like we gotta fix this because you ain't looking on this one.
Well, I do think this is so good. Outside of weddings, I don't know, this is just fun. I think that like when you go to the grocery store and you're putting away like grabbing a couple of flowers to help like.
It's truly a form of self-care and I love it. I love that people are now embracing flowers more as more of a luxury because they are a luxury. And I feel like whether it's an event or, you know, a wedding or, you know, just at your house, it's a luxury. So remember that. So even when you're getting a quote, remember it is a luxury.
Say it again.
There's no bargaining really.
When you're
not
getting
gonna
your quote.
You don't walk into Chanel or Louis Vuitton and say, well, can we get this lower? No, you're paying for what you're getting for. You know the quality that you're looking for.
You didn't cut it.
I did cut it. Does it need to be shorter?
Yes.
You do know the quality that you're looking for, but I think this is literally like 15 minutes.
Look how tall.
Okay, here, I'll cut it more. If we weren't talking, and I think like.
And side tip while you're doing your roses, a good tip.
Okay.
If you have roses that are, this is open, but it's still kind of tight, you're gonna put it upside down.
Okay.
You're gonna put your hands at the top or the middle and give it a nice little spin. And now you have this big, gorgeous
How embarrassing.
rose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And now you see some of that more of that inside
guys
color.
saw that?
Pretty.
And some of that orange is gonna tie in some of these pretty colors, that peaches and the oranges.
This is like before
Honey,
and
I'm
after.
a florist.
How you make them fluffy. I love that.
Maybe
Does
should've
it
cut it a
does
little
it need to be
lower.
shorter? Where are you wanting me to like? What
Just
height?
you do it. Just not as high.
Okay.
And always pull off your guard petals. So your guard petals are gonna be these ones down here that are kind of dead and kind of brown. Just pull those off, get those out of there.
Ooh, petals are flying. The brown petals, kind of dead, kind of brown.
So you need to do that when you're doing it.
Okay, I'm doing it. I feel like we've learned so much today.
And again, not putting everything at the same height, giving texture, giving height, giving levels, structure. And don't be afraid to go away from that vase. Do something big, do something grand, do something pretty. And it's yours, so make sure it's what you like and not what you think is gonna look good on Instagram.
And for the guys, we're going into cuffing season, cuddle season. It's getting near the end of the year, the holidays. Like, I think this is something that's so simple and like slightly elevated from like, yeah, you could pick up a bouquet of pre-made roses in Kroger, but how cool is it to kind of pick up a couple of different things and make an arrangement?
So-
it's kind of fun.
Tico, have you made an arrangement?
I have, but
Okay.
Oh, you DIY'd it?
It's a little iffy.
But I think it's the thought that counts. Like, I think it's so cute for your partner to come and be like, I got a couple of flowers and like made you something sexy. I'm like, this is so cute.
I need some a little taller.
Or even to do it together. If you're like, I'm not creative and my floral arrangement will look crazy, I feel like you could totally be like, you need some taller ones?
And to that point, to we're doing something together, I'm actually starting something called Pinot and Petals. So this will be a class for, whether it's for a private party for your girlfriends, you in your home. It will be a podcast also, but a class to be able to drink some wine, have some drinks, but also learn how to do great
go
flower
taller,
arrangements
sorry.
like this.
That's
love
so
that.
exciting. So
excited.
follow your socials. Have you dropped your social handles
I
yet?
haven't. So you
Okay.
can follow me on Instagram at DJ Madison. That's THE, the letter J, Madison, MADISON. Also on YouTube at the J Madison. That's where you'll find our podcast coming out, which is called again Pinot and Petals.
Period.
And our classes will be launched on Instagram coming later this fall, starting early spring next year, which would be fun, a fun time. I think. I think it'll be a experience. That's what I love to
It's
get.
basically like cocktails and building flowers.
Yeah.
So it's like, can we be on your show?
I think you'll be my first guest. I think that'll be fun.
That would be fun. Can we also just talk about your mom
This
and
is
plug
really
Chef
hard.
Payne because
Absolutely. So
we're
Chef Payne,
adopted. Y'all didn't know. We told her we were adopted, but you guys literally best food, best catering, and like I guess it runs in the family. Like y'all got the decor and the food going on.
So yeah, Chef Payne, my mom, Amelia Payne, she runs Catered by Payne. Follow her as well. Tag her on everything.
Wait.
Bing. She's amazing. She's my angel, my sweetheart, my best friend, and she can cook the house down.
Yeah, the food's real good.
Presentation is everything. I just love how she has stuck true to herself. She started, her company during a dark time, and again, just started something beautiful and is able to share her gift with the world. It's something that I've grown up with, but now everyone else gets to experience it. And like Lo said, like she has adopted so many children in the industry.
We told her she adopted us, and she does Taco Tuesday or something.
She has
doesn't
Taco
she?
Tuesdays as well, so she'll be coming out with a new series of doing Taco Tuesdays and even other weekdays where she'll be creating recipes online and doing them live and doing classes as well.
Let me tell you, Les and I are from Texas, and the way we love tacos and the Taco Tuesday, I'm definitely for sure tuning in. I can't wait to hear. I want everybody who's watching to please comment and let us know.
You can do those.
We have a couple, our Billy Bobs
Lauren, it's not Billy Bob.
It is.
Billy balls.
Our Billy balls are our last pieces. And I'm just saying, like,
I think it looks pretty good.
I think you guys should comment which bouquet, the Leslo bouquet or the J. Madison bouquet. You guys think it's lit? I mean, I think I definitely learned some things today. I think this is levels up. We have to drop a throwback pic of one of our DIY bouquets. I feel like this is levels up from that. But I also think this is a great example of why you should hire
I don't know,
florist.
you're downplaying this. I feel like we did
You
pretty
love
good.
it?
I think you need to put the Billy bells in.
Okay, it's gonna set it off.
I'm gonna cut
Look at
him.
360.
Anyway.
Look at our 360.
This, after we get the Billy balls in, we can close out the floral workshop. Definitely follow VJ Madison on all socials. We'll plug him. Here, pop in your Billy balls.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, and when you are commenting, definitely let us know which floral arrangement wins. I feel like we did really good.
Well, and we also want to know, I'm using this as a mic again, what you guys want to hear about. We appreciate, I feel like our followers are up, period. Shout out to Les, because she really, Leslie be on the socials.
Say it again for the people in the room.
Honey, TikTok popping, IG popping. We want to hear from you. We want to know what kind of things you guys want to hear about. I feel like floral was a hot topic, and I'm just so honored and flattered that the J. Madison, who I just adore and love personally too, came out to be on this episode. But we want to hear more from you guys about what kind of things you want to hear, what kind of things you want to talk about, what you want to know about us. If you love or hate the episodes, you can like rate them or something. I don't know.
This was obviously a love, so.
You better love it. If you don't love it, then what are we doing?
Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Cocktail Hour with Lesla. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you for having me. This is truly an experience, and I'm honored that you'd even think of me.
We love you.
I never think of myself as something big in the industry or anything like that, but I appreciate you guys for the continued
humble brag. He's lit.
Continued love and support.
Thank you.
You know, this was started as a dream for me, and I'm living my dream, and I get to share it with my sisters now. So thank you guys.
We love you, and we love you guys. Tune in to the next episode.
I know you did it.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey y'all, Less and Low with Less Low Events, and we have a special guest.
I don't know what camera I was looking at. Wait. Which
You
one do I
have
need to look at?
What it is.
That
we
one.
Are.
Okay.
Do you want me
Okay.
Do you want me
Okay,
to
let
start?
me start over.
Is it a cocktail hour episode without a cocktail? I don't think so.
have
Is
So
it a cocktail?
we
What? We gotta do it again.
What did I say?
You said, is it a cocktail?
Okay, and one more time.
I can't do
Honey,
this
that
today.
medicine is dragging you by your feet, and I need you to get it together. You are fighting for your life.
I am. Okay.